What time's it over there, Tom?
It's 6 a.m.
Nice.
6 a.m. It's freezing cold. What about you guys?
9 p.m.
9 p.m.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, going to bedtime.
Yeah, nice. Hey guys, Tom here from Touchscreen with another Around the World video. This time we're joined by Wales touch football. So we've got a couple of representatives from Wales, which is exciting. Do you guys want to introduce yourself and tell us about what your role is within Wales touch football? Who wants to go first?
Dan can go first.
Okay. Hi, my name's Dan. I currently play for the Wales mixed open team and also one of the coaches in the Wales women. And last year I was a part of the juniors, like director role. And this year I'm kind of just helping out with the girls' A teams a bit as well for the junior comp this year.
Oh, so you've got a lot of hats on. You play a hat.
Yeah, a lot of weekends taken up.
Play a hat. Your senior coach hat and your junior coach hat.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I'm a little bit different from Dan. So I've only got into touch in like the last 4 years, but I'm the men's open captain for this World Cup. So yeah, I was the captain the last three, so 2 Euros before, and then obviously this World Cup. But yeah, I haven't been in touch as long as Dan has, and then me and Dan both play for the same club team as well. So that's Kiwi Dragons. He also does loads of stuff with them as well. So Dan has a lot of plates that he is jumping at the same time.
So how did you guys get into touch footy or touch rugby? I'm not sure what it's called. What you go by in Wales?
Just touch for us, really.
Okay. Yeah. For me, it started in school. So we're just lucky. One of our teachers played for Wales. 45. I'll say 40s to be nice. The 40s Wales team, and we got a school team in like the social Cardiff League playing, and then from that, Kiwi Dragons, which is one of the clubs, asked a few of us to play, and then we just went the path with them. So we played for our region, and then 2016 played for the men's open. Before that, did the juniors in 2015, which is in Nottingham as well. So it's kind of a full cycle now back to Nottingham, the World Cup. So yeah, did men's open 2016, 2018, and in Malaysia for the World Cup. And after COVID, I've gone over to the mixed and played the last 2 years for the mixed. Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, so mine's a little bit different. I didn't really play touch before COVID, and it was something that me and my girlfriend just wanted to do together post-COVID. So went around a couple of clubs, and actually one of the guys is at Kiwi Dragons called Owen Smith. I basically just put a tweet out asking anywhere to play touch in Wales. I'd never really seen any teams or anything, and Owen, who from Kiwi Dragons, put me in touch, and and I've been playing ever since. And yeah, got very, very lucky to get into the Wales men's open squad that first year of playing. Just played on the wing, didn't really have a clue what was going on, but yeah, I would say come on quite a bit in the last 2 years. A lot of it thanks to Dan as well, for lots of coaching from him at club as well. So yeah.
And did you have like a rugby background?
Yeah, yes. I played rugby. I'm retiring tomorrow. My last game of contact union tomorrow. So I can focus a bit more on touch. And then I do lots of coaching of rugby union as well. So I'm trying to focus more on that and then just my touch playing. So
well, you make sure you stay safe in your last game. You don't want any any silly injuries. So how did you find coming? Because a lot of people say they come in when they come into touch at a bit of a later age, or when they're an adult. It's a bit of a shock on how quick the game is.
Yeah. For me, it was the strangeness of all about momentum, and I didn't really get that to start with. I just tried to step everyone, and then realized that actually that doesn't really benefit you all the time. So you get used to it, and when you had some of the guys we have at Kiwis who are really, really knowledgeable, and the way they come across to you, makes you feel that it's not necessarily the wrong thing, but shows you the way in how it could be better. That has helped me loads, and allowed me to come on loads as a touch player as well. So
Yeah, awesome.
yeah, it's different.
So did you move from the wing to the link to the middle?
So I played in the first. So we had a home nations where Dan was like a player coach, and I was on the wing. And then the year after that, I went straight to mid. So yeah,
just bypass.
I just run around a lot. Yeah, I just run around a lot and just make touches. But
yeah, okay. So
I think so most boys and girls in Wales they play union or tag from age 5 until 16, 17, and it's just you get like in our club you get loads of union boys and girls come, and it's just if they're willing to want to learn it, as obviously Calum has done. So you get a lot of that. You just get some who just still stick to their ways and not want to change, but then you get a lot who do want to kind of learn the game, which is always nice.
Yeah. Okay. So Daniel, how did you find going from men's to mixed? Did you think it was a bit of a different game, or was it sort of your role sort of was similar?
I find the mix a bit more chess-like. You have to think a bit more because obviously with the girls and boys, you find teams kind of and not picking on, but you kind of have to think a bit more about how you want to when you plays or which side you're doing things on, kind of thing. Whereas men's, there's a lot more just the same thing, but just a lot more reliant on your physical abilities. Because if you have it in your head, but you're not quite there fitness-wise with men's, you're going to get found out. So now I was 18 when I first started the men's, so I was the same as Cal, started on the wing. And then used to learn a lot from the guys who were playing men. And then I think it's helped me a lot coming from men's to mixed. It's not quite as quick, still very quick, obviously, but yeah, it's probably that side of you have a bit more time to think in mixed. Whereas men's, they're up on you, and it's very much relying on your skills and just your athleticism a bit more in men's, I think.
Do you find mixed to be more of a I guess like a fun sort of casual side, especially in between games? Like the vibe of the team is very different.
I think there's a lot more like testosterone in the men's when you have. We've been very lucky as a group. For a lot of us, played juniors together in 2015, 16. So as a mixed team now, we're very like close friends. We all live very close, which has been nice. Where it depends. Like that's obviously the serious side as well of it, but men's is very right. Let's go. Let's get loud, pumping each other up. For mixers, we have to be a bit more aware of who's around, and you can't all go screaming at each other as much.
Yeah. So you said you played in 2019 World Cup.
Yeah.
We were talking about that last night about how did you find the conditions, like the weather? So apparently, because I was watching it online, and they were saying that it was in the mid 40s, and back home in Australia we have a heat policy that all play stops when it hits 37. So that's like 8-9 degrees higher than what we would stop in. So how'd you find that?
Yeah, it was as much as I would love to say I loved it, it was horrible. It was just we had 3 of our guys ended up on drips in like hospital. So all used to rainy Wales, and you just, as much as people thought they were fit, you then turn up. We had like two days maybe before the comp started to like acclimatise, and then as you said, it hits you, and then we went down to about 13, 12 boys at one point. So it was just an absolute grind. It was an amazing experience, but it was a shame you couldn't even between games like watch. Obviously, you want to watch Australia, New Zealand, but you were just jumping straight into a little paddle pool with ice in it and just trying to cool down. So it's a great experience, but I'm glad it's Nottingham. Hopefully, won't be the same.
Because I can imagine weather in Wales is probably a lot cooler. It's probably similar to England in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's it should be nice. It should be nice. I say it should be. We've had Julys before. It was a bit of rain, but we had the Euros in Nottingham 2022, and it was lovely. It's always really. It's just a great venue there. Always well run. So as much as we were a bit gutted, it was only next door Nottingham, but now everything considered, we've got lots of friends and families coming. It's should be a good week.
Yeah, that's good. And definitely not 40 plus degrees in England. I can assure. And the World Cup before that in Australia, we had the rain. So we had I think it was like 2 weeks worth of rain. A day got cancelled, and the fields were just mud. So the last two World Cups have been a bit of a mission to get through as far as the conditions go.
And the next one's New Zealand as well, isn't it?
Yeah, that'll be that's probably going to be an equal chance of rain, but I don't know if you've ever been to New Zealand. I've been twice, but it's an amazing country. Just watch Lord of the Rings, and the whole of New Zealand is like that. Just mountains, and it's just green, and everything just looks healthy because they get a lot of rain. And definitely looking forward to trying to get to New Zealand to represent somewhere and participate there.
Yeah.
So the Euros, you say being to the Euros. Do you want to just give just anyone from where I'm from that's watching this? I had no idea about the Euros until I made this YouTube channel. You want to tell us what that is?
Is that Calum?
Yeah, so we in Europe, obviously, we've got a similar competition to the World Cup, but obviously we're just European teams. So and sometimes they even invite some of the other nations. I think they had even like Singapore played in the 2022 one with like 45s or something like that. I can't remember one of those type of nations. But yeah, we all play each other across a week, pretty similar to a World Cup. We had the last one was in Vichy. And it was really, really nice weather, probably just about hot enough, not too hot. And then, we said the one before was in Nottingham. So, just a good week all round, loads of games. You play in Men's Open, we played everyone. In Nottingham, we played everyone twice. And then you like round off the rankings with like a 5th to 7th playoff. And then obviously like semi-finals, final for the top 4 teams. And then last year it changed a little bit. We didn't have as many games in Men's Open. I think we only played 9 in the end, whereas the year before was like 12. And we luckily we only had 12 players in ours, so the less games probably suited us a little bit more. So
yeah, cool. So I guess we do this with the Olympics. We have the Commonwealth Games. Can you kind of like compare it to that? It's like a World Cup, but just sort of not for everyone. So it's run like a World Cup.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so depends how many teams are entering, but normally it's some sort of round robin, like the first couple of days, so everyone plays everyone, and really, depending on how many teams are in it, it will change. So obviously, with Dan probably won't big it up as much as he should do, is that so the Wales mixed won the last 2 Euros, so they were very, very strong and had an awesome tournament. Yeah, so they've done really, really well. Do you want to talk about your format? Was a little bit different, wasn't it, Dan? Because you had loads of teams compared to.
Yeah, I think similar to World Cup, I think mixed is, always has more countries enter for whatever reason. So I think we played everyone once, and then so 2022 was everyone once. Then it's just top 4, fourth v first, second v third in the semis, and then the final. And then last year in Vichy, it was a bit different. Everyone played everyone once, and then the top 4 all played against each other again. And then it's like a mini top 4 league where obviously whoever's top 2 went to the final. The views are always like the highest we can play here before the World Cup, so it's always our prep is weird. It's normally every 2 years before COVID, but having the 2 back-to-back since COVID, it's good. Just good prep. It's quite intense, but yes, the highest standard we can do until World Cup, unless teams are going over to Oz and stuff.
Yeah, right. Because we don't really have the only sort of like national, like when Australia plays, we have a Trans-Tasman, which is basically normally just Australia and New Zealand. But outside the World Cup, you don't really see Australia play any other nations. We have state champs and national champs, which I'm not sure if Wales do something like that, but that's where we sort of have all of our elite touch footy. So representing Australia probably only happens once every couple of years.
Yeah.
So look.
Yes, we have like obviously it's handy being so close to England. So we have, because obviously a lot of the England stuff is streamed, so we kind of try and like ride their wave of kind of, we have our own, we're kind of regrowing in Wales in terms of club wise, and like our player pool is obviously tiny compared to England. So we have our own, I think they call it Touch Fest now, which any clubs want to play all play in that, which is a day. We have 3 rounds of that day comps. And then a lot of, so like the mixed team will play for an English club team in their national touch series. So yeah, you see as many, we just try and get as much exposure as you can. If you can find a touch club in England that you can play with as well, it's just playing as much as you can, because in Wales it's very Cardiff, Swansea, and that's pretty much it in terms of players in the World Cup. They'll all be from Cardiff, Swansea. It's not much north. So yeah, it's a very small player pool, but it's pros and cons. We're all very close to train with as well.
So is that allowed? Are you allowed to go to? There's no real barriers about just going to England and playing in one of their nationals? So
we can't play their so like their regional stuff, because they're, so say Southwest, Southeast. We can't play in those because obviously that's we want to pick for England. Obviously we're not eligible, but their club stuff. I was lucky. I went to university in Bath in England, so I just met a lot of friends there, and then they just asked me to play for their club. So I've been lucky being able to play for a club in there, and we've been lucky. This year's the first year Kiwi Dragons are now England affiliated club, so they've let us join them. So in a few weeks we're playing in the mixed NTS for the first time, which is really good for us as a club.
Yeah, awesome. So so right now I'm looking at, I always bring up I've got the well, it's not the draw, it's the pool structure. I've got men's open up on my screen first. So Calum, the question I ask everyone is, who are you looking forward to playing against?
Well, obviously a big one is New Zealand, isn't it? Yeah, really excited to play them. Like obviously being able to see most of their games are over like the last 3 or 4 years on like live stream is unbelievable, watching them play. Obviously always tight against Australia, but it'll be really good to see them in person and play against them as well. I've got like from watching them the last couple of times, is E4 Jones, is that his name? Yeah, just from watching him play, I'm just like, oh, he's almost like one of those players you just want to mimic and do everything he does. But it'd be awesome to play him. And we've actually, there's a boy that's playing for us this year called Will Burton, and he went out to New Zealand over the last 6 months. So he's been out playing in New Zealand, and he's brought back a load of knowledge. And he played for the Cyclones in their, I can't remember what their competition over there, and actually played with Dylan Hennessy. So he's got a load of experience he's brought back from even just playing with him. So yeah, really looking forward to New Zealand. That's just that big dog in the group, and yeah, we'll just see how we go against them.
Yeah, and they play a very sort of a style that's very sort of ad lib or off the cuff as well. They keep the ball up because they practice a lot of one touch in or two touch in New Zealand, so they're used to just keeping the ball alive. So a set of 6 could probably take over a minute sometimes when you're playing against New Zealand. What about you, Dan, with mixed open? Oh, I got here. I've got mixed open. There's a lot of mixed open teams. Was it 29 teams? So you're in Pool C.
Yeah. So there's all the ones who, obviously all of them, but the ones who we don't normally play. So there's like Samoa, PNG. So I know the last World Cup, the mixed team, I think became 5th, but just missed out on top 4 because they lost to Samoa by a few. So I think that'll be obviously a good game. And then I think Lebanon as well. I'm not sure. I have a few based in Australia potentially. So that'll be another tough game. But yeah, all the games are exciting. So I think that'll be because I think it's top 4 that go through in mixed. Top 4 from each pool. So it's a bit different to what I'm used to. So it's trying to get as high as you can in those pools to have a bit of a nicer last 16. So yeah, every game should be good.
Yeah, awesome. So just looking at your pool, I think Papua New Guinea versus Samoa would be a good game to watch. Yeah. Sort of a local style. Guernsey. Do you know much about Guernsey?
We play them in the Euros.
Okay. And
yeah, they for such a small island, they normally have a mixed team in the Euros, and yeah, they're good, always improving. So it'd be good to play against them again. And Portugal, I've never played against in a Euros before, so I have absolutely no idea what they'll be like. So that'll be interesting. And then Malaysia as well. So Yeah, every game, but it's the unknown because obviously it's 5 years since the last World Cup. We can't really assume Samoa and Pindy will be the same as last time, so it's a bit of the unknown. Try and watch as much as you can.
Yeah, and Malaysia will experience the English weather this time, not the other way around. And see how they like it.
Get the coats on.
Yeah, awesome. So who did you in the Euros? Who did you play in the grand final? Was it England?
So 2022 was England, and then if it was, I say it was a shock, but not for France. But it was France in the final because they ended up drawing in the top four. We all played against each other, and England ended up losing to Ireland, drawing to France, and drawing to us. So they finished third. So it was us and France in last year's final.
And so I'm guessing just in all divisions, the big rivalry would it be Wales versus England?
Yeah, for us, I'd say so. I think it's always been if we can beat England, it feels a bit better because I know most of the players as well, so friends playing, and I think in Euros they won every category in the Opens anyway, apart from mixed the last 2 years. So it's always nice to stop them from getting a clean sheet. But what do we call it? A clean sweep, whatever we call it. But yeah, for mixed anyway, I'd say, or France as well. Obviously, the France, England, and Wales the last 2 years have been the main top two.
Cool, excellent. So how does like preparing for World Cup, like training, do you find that a lot of your team live far away? Do you have to do sort of weekend camps, or do they live close by where you can sort of train weekly? How does the training work? I'm sure it probably works different for both teams.
Yeah, do you want to go first, Dan?
Yeah, you go.
Yeah, so ours is so most players, like Dan said, are normally like Swansea or Cardiff based. So we do a little bit different from the mixed. Mixed sometimes do like double days on a weekend, so do a Saturday, Sunday. We tend to just do like a big full day on a Sunday. We'll try and link up with other teams. So like, for instance, we joined the mixed on last Sunday and we had a game against them, did some line attack, line defense. The session before that, we trained with the 30s, the men's 30s, and did the same against them. So we always try and join up with someone else to do some sort of game v them. So we get that exposure to that as well. But yeah, we tend to do 1 dayers, and we normally do it after like a competition. So like our Touch Fest we talked about, we normally do it on the Sunday when that was on the Saturday. So we try and get that like mimic of actually being fatigued from the day before and then going into stuff. So yeah, and we've tried to do that as much as we can, so we potentially do like a Saturday, Sunday, and then we've got like a Cardiff League on a Monday, and then we had like a game on a Tuesday. So we try and get almost to 5 days in a row, so you can try and mimic the conditions almost as how many games will be in a day for the World Cup and stuff. So
there's a lot of nations out there that would be very jealous at the prospect of being able to go 5 days in a row, touch footy at home.
Yeah, it's not all the same people, but it's you as an individual trying to get out and play as much touch as you can to try and mimic it is the key thing. So
how's that? What about the mixed?
Yeah, it's Carson. We do more of a sort of camp. So I say more than once a month. We kind of do a Saturday, Sunday, or one of the days we'll play against opposition. So I think it's like the men's 30s, the men's open, and then we're lucky in start of June we've got France, Scotland, and Ireland coming to Cardiff for a little Saturday, Sunday games and like a get together on a Saturday night as well. So that should be good to be able to play some games 1 month out from the tournament. And then same. So I can speak for the women's as well. They do camps where they also have, I know, their own like a Cardiff chat, a Swansea chat, and they'll just get together as much as they can. Get a team together for the local social leagues or play just to get like a friend against the men's 40s and stuff. So we are lucky that everyone's within, I don't know, an hour and a half of each other. So we can try and get together midweek as well, which is good.
Yeah, that's lucky. It's an hour and a half, probably a bit of a reasonable sort of distance to travel, especially if it's going to be the whole day. And it's funny you talk about Cardiff and Swansea. Are they two major cities in Wales?
Yeah, the two biggest with the most touch contingents that way. Yeah. So like Swansea Way, they have a team called Gower Dragons. So they're the other one that we, as Kiwi Dragons, play quite a lot of. So last year in the Touch Fests, we lost every single Touch Fest to them in drop off. This year we've won both against them in the final. So it's swung a bit this year, but yeah, they're the other big club that have a lot of the Wales contingent playing for them as well.
Yeah, because we have just from where I'm from, in the town that I'm from, or in the region I'm from, we have a Cardiff and a Swansea.
Really?
So it's just funny when you're talking. Yeah, so like a Cardiff is probably a 25-minute drive from my house, and Swansea's probably a 40-minute drive from my house.
Oh.
They don't have touch football though. They've got rugby.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just funny.
Forgot to say as well. So we as Men's Open, we're training with England Men's Open on the 1st and 2nd of June. So that'll be a really good experience for us. So we're joining in one of their camp days. So they train in Burton. So we're gonna jump in with them coming up, not this weekend, weekend after. So that'll be really good for us to jump in with them and just see where we are. Because obviously they're not in our World Cup group. So it'd be good for them to get a run out against another nation. But yeah, something a bit different for us. Obviously against our own nation. So getting somewhere else would be nice too.
And it would be good, like when you say that they're not in your pool, like there's nothing that you need to keep secret, probably from England, because your chances of playing them are strictly in the finals. So that'd help immensely, I'm sure. So do you that was going to be my next question. Do you play exhibition games with other nations, like whether it be Ireland or even do you play against like France or anything like that, or is it just sort of England?
Yeah, not the camp that we've got in a few weeks. I haven't done it before. I played against France or an Ireland before, so the fact that they're coming over to Cardiff is obviously is great for us and for them, hopefully. So yeah, we don't normally do it even against England. We don't normally, because we don't really have friendlies against them, so we don't normally play against them much. It's more just club. Everyone knows everyone in the touch world, so just in the club stuff. So you all know each other in some way.
Yeah, with like cost of stuff, it's obviously it's tough to try and go somewhere and play or get them to come over. So obviously there's always a big cost involved with them coming over, flights, or we going over to other places. Obviously England's the easiest because you can just drive there. But even when we got up to Burton, we're staying over the night, so that there's still like a cost to that. So yeah, again, probably comes. We're quite lucky in terms of like how far we have to travel. Like I'm not gonna like complain about the travel costs because obviously the nations that are coming over to us, well, coming over to Nottingham. So yeah, we're quite lucky in that sense for the World Cup. But yeah, obviously with training, it's a little bit different.
So I've just brought up the map of Wales, so I can see Swansea and Cardiff. How long would it take to drive from? Because if you say those are the sort of the heart of touch football in Wales, how long does it take to get between each city?
An hour, if no traffic.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool. That's very different to where I'm from. Some people drive over an hour just to play on a Monday night with their friends from where I'm from. And because we've got Sydney and Brisbane would be our sort of version of Swansea and Cardiff, and it probably would take a 10-hour drive to get between the two. So that's we in Australia have probably training camps as well on a weekend, and it's either based in one of those two. So you're either traveling just down the road or you're going a big 10-hour drive or a flight to get to training.
Yeah, really, yeah. If it's in Cardiff, the Swansea lot will complain. If it's in Swansea, we'll complain. So yeah, we are quite lucky.
Well, I was talking to Singapore before, and from countryside to countryside is 42 kilometres.
No.
So they can actually train twice a week. The only barrier for
we have a lot of in our women's open. A few of the girls grew up in Singapore and they come to university and they have a Welsh grandmother, so a few Welsh women's open from Singapore.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's really interesting. And I'll probably, because I'm with Daniel, I'm with I'm going to be at the World Cup with mixed open as well.
Oh, nice.
Just not Australia.
Oh, no.
No, I'll
China,
be with China. China,
oh,
yeah.
nice. How did you get involved with them?
So one morning probably late last year, I woke up with an email, and it was basically, would you like to be our coach?
Oh, nice.
They actually emailed me through the YouTube channel.
Oh, cool.
And yeah, and I didn't realize actually, like, it was a big eye opener for me going to China, and conditions were very different. The way they do touch footy over there is very different. And I had no idea the amount of like countries in the world that had touch footy. Like yeah, it was definitely a big eye opener. And now you're looking at the World Cup teams. There's 59 nations participating, and then we spoke about Guernsey before, and that's a country that I probably haven't heard of since high school.
Like, so, do you know where Guernsey is? Have you had I assume you've had a little Google.
It's near France, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's one of the Channel Islands off the bottom of England, and yeah, it's probably closer to France than it is England. So are they technically a nation, Dan? I don't know if they are, but they.
Oh yeah, there it is.
They have a touch.
Don't know anyone.
I take that back. But yeah. So obviously they compete in Commonwealth Games, and
it's like Jersey as well, isn't it? Jersey and Guernsey.
Yeah. So last time I was in China, Peter Walters was there doing some work with the senior mix side, and he said that he was going there from there to Jersey to do some work with their national teams. And it's so funny now that I'm looking at it, I had no idea that Guernsey and Jersey were so close. And we actually have a term for a jersey, and I think there's another different style of like a jersey, like a footy jersey, like a jumper that you wear. And there's a different style, and we call it a Guernsey. And that probably makes sense as to why we call it a Guernsey, because it's close, but it's not the same thing.
Really the Euros was in Jersey in 2016, so that was the first time I went to Jersey.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So what would the population in Jersey be?
Oh, I have no idea.
Yeah.
Not
okay.
much,
Yeah. Just
Wales is 3 million, so Jersey's.
Okay. So Wales probably doesn't have as many people as probably a lot of people would think.
No. No, very small. I think London is. I'm not sure. That's way more. Like, I'm sure the touch clubs in London have about 3 times as many touch clubs we have in Wales. So it is very small.
Oh, there you go.
We've been. I was going to say with because we've had like people from Australia, New Zealand come over and help with the coach. It's so good how like you're willing to go to China, and like people are willing to come over and help us. It just makes such a difference. Even like a weekend, just chatting with them, just it really helps.
And it's funny because like there's so many people I know that coach probably at a pretty elite level in Australia that would like to do stuff like that, but we're probably a little bit ignorant to what's going on in the rest of the world. Like I didn't realize actually how much. Oh, so my daughter's just woken up. Hello. You want to come sit down? Yeah. Come on. You can come and participate in the podcast like you did with Samoa. You can come sit down.
Hello.
No, it's very early. Very early.
Uh-huh.
Hello.
Yeah. Do you want to say hi?
No.
No. Just.
How scary.
What was I talking about?
People coming over.
Open. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and yeah. So who was it that came over from? I'm guessing has Peter Walters come over to Wales before, or I'm guessing maybe Mark Tipple.
We've had in 2016 we had Ryan Pollock, Rhino.
Oh yeah.
He came over in 2016. We've had Tom Devro has been helped with the mix, I think, previously. We had I've gone blank.
Ivan.
Yeah, Ivan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Ryan Pollock's a pretty well-known player in Australia.
Yeah, he was a great lad. He was with us 2016. It was the only one I've experienced with him with the men's. So he coached with the mixed coach now, Martin Seymour, in 2016. So yeah, he was great.
You gonna say hello? You a bit shy? Righto. So what else is sort of happening in Wales, like socially? If I moved to Wales, if I did the old scenario where if I moved to Wales tomorrow and wanted to get involved with touch, how does that look? Is it a case of, like, a lot of nations are playing pickup touch, or can I form a team with my friends and play, or do I just join the club?
So yeah, it's a little bit different from, obviously, I listened to some of the other podcasts and you said how this pickup touch, and that sounds awesome. But no, we don't quite have that. It's normally like there's two main leagues. So there's a Cardiff League, which is like a Monday and a Thursday night. So Monday's your men and women's, and then your Thursday's the mixed. So get into a team in that. And then you just play on, like, it's normally only one game on a Monday or a Thursday. And then there's also a Swansea League on a Wednesday. So that's a little bit different. You probably get a few more games, but it's only one night as such. So if you can plot your week out quite well, you could play Monday, Wednesday, Thursday in leagues in Wales if you're willing to travel a little bit, but obviously not as much as some of the other nations with how much they have to travel. So
yeah, it's, in the Cardiff League, it's nice that it's like divisions. So you can, as you said, I have some friends. You can just rock up, sign up with your friends and play in Division 3, I think, if you want to, and then build your way up. Or if you want to join a Division 1 club, you can do that as well. So it depends how you want to treat it. If you want to treat it as a bit more serious, you can join a club, or if you want to enter a team with your family and friends, there's that option as well, which is good.
Yeah, that's cool, and that's sort of what we have in Australia. And I'd never even heard of the term pickup as far as sport goes, but I've never heard of anyone anywhere doing pickup touch. And that would be really cool, even if we just did that sort of once every 6 months or once every season.
Yeah. I don't know if it was before COVID or after. We did like this draft thing, which was really fun. So just like 2 or 3 of the main coaches just did like a draft. So all the players were there, and they just fought for like players, and they just and that was, I think we had a weekend of it, and they were like some of the highest standard games, like fastest games we've had, because it was just friends just going at it. So that was the Cardiff rugby players are Cardiff Farms Park. So yeah, that was, I think, before COVID. So we could do that again.
Okay. You're waking up. You're very shy.
Yeah, so we've actually also got coming back into play as well, potentially in the next few years, is we have regions. We used to have regions. So before COVID, Dan played when there was like a regional setup. So each area of Wales had their own region. We're trying to bring that back slowly. So hopefully, potentially next year, we'll have that in place, so that you'll have the guys from Cardiff will be in like one team, the guys in between will be in one team, or girls as such, and then you'll have like the Swansea and a bit more west will almost be together. I don't know how it's going to work in terms of the actual like area size, but yeah, it'll be really, really competitive, which would be really, really good, because that's what we need more of as well.
Yeah, that's good. And how's the juniors go? Like the kids, is touch football a well-known sport in like schools and like that, or?
I'm not sure about schools. I think our juniors in the past has been really successful. I know I first started in 2015 with the juniors. We had a good 2 or 3 years of being really successful. So now a lot of those who played in those teams are now in the men's, mixed, women's teams. So it's nice. It's a good pathway coming through. But in terms of like before the Wales juniors part, and that's where some work will be done, because you find they'll come to the open, there's a big open trial, and they'll be learning how to do everything there. So it's, ideally we'd have them learning maybe in schools and club stuff before, because I teach in a primary school, and it's just
cool.
tag until like age 8, 9, and then age 10, 11 to do contact. But Cal does lots of stuff with schools as well, don't you?
Yeah, so I work in rugby union, so I most of my job is based in secondary schools. So it tends to be in the summer. They try and find like an alternative, and that's when I'll try and do a little bit of touch coaching. But it's a tough one because like the buy-in for touch isn't as great as potentially other countries. And you've got obviously loads and loads of other sports to compete with in the summer as well. So
yeah, okay, yeah, awesome.
Is it a school day or?
Yeah, it is. It's Friday here, so this one's going to be getting ready to go to school soon. Drop her off on the way to work. So, do you want to have a listen? No? Okay. Well, I might have to, sorry guys, I might have to go and get this one something to eat.
Is it good?
Do you want something to eat?
Okay.
Yeah, what do you want to eat? Cereal. Righto, guys. Well, anyway, thanks for coming on. And I'm sure I'll catch up with you at the World Cup. I'll come and watch a game. Any particular game you want me to come watch?
well done, you go.
Any of them. Any. PNG. Fun.
Well, if you play China in the finals, I'll come watch that one.
Yeah. I'll come watch you in China.
Yeah, there's a few of them that are actually from New Zealand. So, but
nice.
yeah, the Chinese ones, we've got a couple of young ones that are really good that are uni students, and they'll be very good, especially the next World Cup if they're still playing. So, right, guys.
Your pool?
We've got. I had it up here. We've got Australia, Ireland, Italy, Philippines, Spain, and the USA. So I've been messaging my friends that are playing for Australia's like, yeah, we're coming for you. We're going to smash you and stuff like that. Right, guys. Thanks again for joining on. Sorry I had to cut this short, but yeah, probably got to start getting ready this morning, and you guys can go to bed. Right, guys.
Cheers. Thank you, Tom.
See you later.
Cheers, Tom.
Bye.
Bye.